Hi, I'm Sydney Spencer. I'm playing Ayesha. Ayesha is a headstrong girl. She's very brave and she wants to win. And sometimes that can make her lose sight of what's wrong and what's right. But ultimately, she needs to determine whether to make the right decision or not. Yes.
Yep. Hi, I'm Joel Nash, and I am playing Joe. And I would describe Joe as sort of an ultra scout. Like he lives and breathes being a scout. He's got 60 badges, and he likes to nerd out on all the scout history and terminology. But as the show goes on, we discover there's a little bit more to Joe than we first see, and really, he just wants some pals.
Yeah. Then what kind of attracted you both to want to be a part of the project?
Well, for me, I am very interested in new theatre. I love seeing new theatre and kind of exploring those kinds of things. So as soon as I found out it was a show that hadn't been done before, I was very interested in it. And it's been, yeah, a great experience working on a new piece.
Yeah, similar for me. It's a new piece of musical theatre. It's really exciting to be part of and be the first cast to perform it. And also, it's completely actor muso, which is really exciting and a big challenge, but a fun one.
And have you guys have any of that life experience with the Scouts? I mean, I did Beavers, Cubs, Scouts, kind of growing up.
Yeah, I was a scout at my local group in Cornwall, and I remember making bivvies in the woods, and one we slept overnight in the forest. But in hindsight, I think most of my badges were quite stagey badges. Like I got my theatre badge, so I wasn't the most scouty scout there was. Yeah.
I actually don't have any experience with the Scouts. I always wanted to be a brownie when I was younger, but I never was, no.
No. And then have you guys had to do much? I know you kind of, when they've created the show, they've worked with the Scouts, but have you guys yourselves had to do much research into that world?
Well, what's been interesting is that I think the Scouts has changed a lot since we've been there, and our director Sam has, told us what it means to be a scout nowadays, opposed to maybe when we were younger, which is quite interesting. So a little bit of research there.
Yeah.
And then in terms of thinking about character, I've been thinking about my character as an animal and what kind of animal he might be. So at the moment, I'm playing with Puppy. He's a bit of a excitable but loyal guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I would, well, the same thing. It's changed a lot since we were sort of younger. So it's been interesting to see all the new things. And I've kind of researched some of the badges, those kind of things have been exciting to learn about. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you guys kind of touched on it already, but you are about to open a new production of a new show that's never been seen before. How kind of rewarding is that for you both?
It's amazing. I think it's so exciting to be part of like an original cast, and get to sort of have input on things as well, and like make the characters our own, and seeing how Sam kind of creates things and changes things as well as we go along is really interesting. Whereas with a show that's been long running, I'm sure things are the same a lot. So it's just very interesting to see how things change, like when you get into the rehearsal room as well.
And it's nice working on something that has no baggage or connotations. Do you know what I mean? I think we've all gone in with a very open mind and just kind of run with it. And what you say, yeah.
And then obviously people, like you say, might know what the Scouts are or have been through it, and it's changed. So what do you want an audience to take away from seeing the show?
I think one thing that really comes across, and I'd like to come across, is the idea that we are better together. People work better as a team. The whole cliche of no man is an island, or no person is an island. And yeah, I think that's what.
Yeah, I think so as well. And sort of that it's okay to step out of your comfort zones, and it's okay to make new friends and go out there and put yourself out there, and that it's brave to do so. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and you guys have also sort of touched on this already, but what kind of badge would you like to earn if you were going to earn any badge in the world? What would it be?
You go first.
Okay. So the Scouts have a naturalist badge. I feel like that's the kind of vibe I'd like to go down, sort of the scenic route and exploring nature and being with nature. I think that's really interesting. So I would definitely go for a badge like that.
I made up a badge, but I think I would go for a baby lingo badge, because I have a 14-month-old nephew and he's doing a lot of goo goo garing, but I can't really speak baby. So I'd like to be able to speak baby and have a proper chin wag with him. So yeah, I'd like my baby lingo badge for me.
Good choices. And obviously, being an actor muso show, it comes with kind of extra workload, I suppose. And what's it like when you are like getting that to create the songs, I suppose, as well, kind of finding that for the first time when you are that new cast?
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge, and it's, I think, the main challenge is making sure you don't go into seeing the dots in front of you mode, and you're present within the action. And I think in the second week of rehearsals this week, we're starting to get to that point where we're all playing, but we're not going into our own little separate bubbles. So I think, yeah, it's getting it to that point, which is the challenge.
I'm actually not an actor muso personally, so it's been a super exciting experience to be in the room with musicians. Seeing how they like create things and put everything together, it's so cool to watch. It's really amazing. Just adding new bits in, those kind of things. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Amazing. Then in your guys' lives to this point, what shows / performances have inspired you to be the performers you are now?
That's a really good question. Do you have an answer?
I can think of a recent show that I've seen. I recently saw Sylvia, and honestly, it was groundbreaking for me. I thought it was incredible because it's so many different genres of music that have all come together to create this, and it's a story that we know well. We're taught the story or a version of. So I think shows like that are super exciting, that have new music, sort of fresh and current music. They sort of appeal to me a lot.
Yeah, I too love like musical stuff, but I think stuff that's really inspired me has been a lot of Emma Rice's work, stuff she's done with Wise Children, with Knee High. I remember seeing Brief Encounters when it was on at the cinema. They performed in the cinema, and I just cried like a little baby. But I love that sort of work because it's so playful, and the music is so well integrated into the show, and it's just joyous. So anything like that.
Yes, and not to go too deep on you both, but what does theatre simply mean to you both?
Oh, you go.
Well, I've been performing my whole life, really. So theatre for me is a way to sort of escape and step into someone else's shoes for a while, and be able to tell someone else's story. And I think a lot of the stories that we tell in theatre are really important and don't often get heard. So I feel like theatre is the perfect way to do that.
Yeah, I think it's the live element. I love film so much, but there's something about theatre and the liveness of it, and how ephemeral it is, and it's constantly changing. No show is ever the same. And I think from like working within theatre, it's like the camaraderie of it too, which I absolutely love, without sounding too glib, but just being a team, working together and making something happen.
Yeah,
beautiful. And then to condense it all down, my last question: can you describe Scouts the musical in just 3 words?
What, each or between us?
You choose. You can have free reign on that.
Between us. Okay. Wacky.
Yeah. Rambunctious.
And pure.
Yeah. Pure.
Good solid work. Well, thank you both for your time today. Scouts Musical is on at the Other Palace studio from the 20th of June till the 2nd of July.